Remember the Great Recession? Housing crash? Yeah. I had just bought my house. A few months later, it was worth, on paper, less than half what I paid for it. Things were bleak. They were for everyone. But then I started hearing about this new thing called Airbnb. And I happen to have this little mother-in-law unit in my house that my kids and I used for extra space and an office for me and a guest room. And I thought, Alison, you don't need an office. Sit on the couch. Work from your laptop. Kids and I, guests, can sleep on air mattresses. We'll all share the bathroom. And that is how I came to open my very own tiny Airbnb. And from the start, I wanted to be the best Airbnb host in all of South Minneapolis. And what that means is 5-star, non-stop reviews in all the 5 categories: location, accuracy, communication, value, and the most important, dazzling clean. Now, if you're me, or someone like me, to get a dazzling clean review means you got to scrub your Airbnb significantly harder than you scrub the rest of your house. And I couldn't afford to hire a professional cleaner, so I decided to invent one to keep my cleaning standards to the highest professional. I made my cleaner, my fake cleaner, male. I named him Jonas. And from the start, Jonas has been a gift. He's been useful in more ways than I anticipated. For example, if guests are late checking out, I just text them. Just FYI, Jonas, the cleaner, will be here in 20 minutes. Hope that won't be a problem. And Jonas does hold me to the highest cleaning standards. I check in with him as I'm scrubbing, especially like the bathtub, and I think, Alison, would Jonas regard the sheen on this tub as dazzling? Oh, I don't think so. So back to scrubbing I go. Over the years, as I've gotten to know Jonas, and by getting to know Jonas, I mean as I invent more and more details of him, it turns out that Jonas is a hard-working, devoted, single father of 2 teenagers. He cleans office buildings all night, and he moonlights cleaning my Airbnb. Over time, my whole family has gotten to know and love Jonas. So much that my sister Laurel calls me at checkout time. So, Allie, is Jonas there? Well, of course Jonas is here. He's scrubbing the toilet as we speak. And thanks to Jonas, it has been nonstop 5-star, dazzling clean reviews, superhost year after year, until the day when guests who had just checked in called me to say that they had found a pile of dirty, tighty-whities and a German fun pack of condoms in one of the dresser drawers. I immediately called my sister. You're not going to believe what Jonas did. What do you mean? Jonas is the perfect man. I filled her in. The dirty briefs, the fun pack. What the hell happened? She said. Well, that was a good question. What did happen? As it turned out, Jonas had accidentally overbooked himself that day, and he sent his 2 teens to clean the Airbnb instead. I called the guests. I filled them in on what had happened. I said, Jonas, the cleaner, is very sorry, and I, too, am very sorry, and as a gesture of goodwill, I'm going to refund you 1 full night's stay. Now, as it happens, guests will forgive a lot for a nice refund, but I was having trouble forgiving Jonas. What kind of professional cleaner doesn't open the dresser drawers? Well, I'll tell you what kind. The kind who's not a professional cleaner. And this is what happens when you get a little too carried away with your dazzling clean dreams. Sure, you might want to be the best superhost in all of South Minneapolis. And sure, you might invent a professional cleaner to elevate your own very subpar cleaning standards. But guess what? That lie is going to come back to bite you in the butt years down the road when you find yourself furious at a decent, hardworking, devoted single father of two who doesn't even exist. Thank you.
All right, give it up for Allison, everyone.